So what made you want to do a doctorate?
Doctor, I think it's because I have 2 masters already. And also I was thinking in tourism, there are many kind of problems that we don't have a solution. So my thesis is going to be based on women in tourism. The low participation in tourism, because if you look at statistics, it's less than 10% women representing the industry. Whereas if you look at other parts of the world, it's over 50%. So what are the problems? So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do a doctorate, to try and get to find answers and probably maybe convince the stakeholders in the industry to try and change certain things, because if you look at the apparel industry 25 years ago, I mean, they had this same problem of trying to attract women, or rather certain taboos in the industry. But now they've launched so many programs, and now it's a beautiful place to work. So why can't we make the tourism industry savvy, come and work? Because there are so many taboos around the industry. So how can we introduce policies and frameworks to try and make it a better industry?
Welcome to another session in the MBA Diaries, where you will be meeting an expert. As Asia Pacific Institute of Information Technology, known as APIT Sri Lanka, we are honored to be hosting this session today with another veteran in the global corporate world. Especially in a time where we are talking about national challenges, international challenges, and overcoming them, it is today going to be another discussion along the same lines, giving you more exposure to the real world and the practical world that you might not see in the theory all the time. So with that, we warmly welcome all the students who are joining us from Staffordshire University, and of course our members from partner universities, along with all the foreign delegates and diplomats who have come on board with us today. And of course, to start over with, I would like to now invite Dr. Rohanta Attukorala, one of the directors at APIT Sri Lanka, and of course the head of the postgraduate school as well, to do the honors and start from the discussion from the there. Dr. Rohanta, over to you.
Thank you very much, Kaushali, and it's actually fantastic to I think hear people who are doing good in the corporate world, with all the issues, challenges, but yet very positive. And today we have a personality who is an entrepreneur, co-marketer, who has essentially worked in marketing and hospitality, tourism, and travel, and with a fantastic pedigree of working in companies like MAS, Sri Lankan, as well as EVIS. Then she went on to this whole area of entrepreneurship, and started with Handunnetti and restaurants, and then she have co-founded some very interesting new companies, an award-winning personality, and some of the colleagues include a rookie salesperson of the year in IBM, a top 50 award winner at CMO Asia, a super achiever at the World HRD Conference, a most influential marketing personality at the World Brand Conference, small scale entrepreneur of the year, up and coming woman entrepreneur of the year in WIM Sri Lanka, awards, top 50 professional awards, and she's also a recipient of many tourism alliances kind of pedigree. A doctoral candidate from the Asian Institute of Technology, read for the MBA in Buckinghamshire and University in UK, and also an executive MSc from Malaysia, certified management accountant from Australia, a postgraduate diploma from the Chartered Institute of Marketing, and of course, she has been a panel member at the World Agile Forum in Lisbon, Portugal. we have a brilliant personality, Nayomi Handunnetti, director, Sandun Villas, and restaurants, and founder of Siren, co-founder Elixir Ceylon. And Naomi's purpose in life is to create jobs to the people and to be the voice for the support of women entrepreneurship. Naomi will talk to us about building business and building brands. It's actually an honor for me to introduce Nayomi Handunnetti. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Rohantha. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm excited to be here and to share my entrepreneurship journey, my challenges, how I've kind of navigated my business. So this is something that this is my story. I hope you can see the screen.
Yes, Naomi, we can put it on widescreen.
Yeah, okay.
If you just take the cursor right hand bottom, it's fine. Little bit more to the left. Little bit more to the left. No, no. For the left. Some more. No, don't press that. Just go left. Some more. Move the cursor some more to the left. And that screen, if you double step that screen, it will come. Right at the bottom, right hand side.
Kushalini, can you help me out? I've just approved your... Right, thank you.
Oh,
all right. So my topic today is how do I building a brand as well as building a business. Let me start off because I've been in corporate for the longest time. I started my career at EVIS and then moved on to MAS Intimates. And from there, I got an internship to work in the UK. Also, I joined an advertising firm as general manager, Code 3. Then Sri Lankan Airlines, I was head of advertising. I think I was sitting on the largest budget at that time. And then I started my entrepreneurship journey from 2014 onwards. This is where actually I consulted for USA ID, where a stint as the operations director at Tourism Alliance. So some of my awards and honors, I think Dr. Rohantha already mentioned. But I think if you look at bulk of my awards and recognition was after my entrepreneurship journey. And also the Vanitha Abhimani awards, I was one of the top 5 winners this year. So like Dr. Rohantha mentioned, Handun Villas is my primary business, which is in tourism and travel. And I founded the Siren, which is a marketing process outsource company, where we work with corporates in terms of public relations, digital marketing, things like that. And also, I'm the co-founder of an export-oriented coconut-based products. We have personal care as well as food products, coconut oil, coconut chips, coconut water, as well as handmade luxury soaps, creams, things like that. In addition to these businesses, I do a bit of commercial farming as well to kind of cater to the food demand in the country. So when I started off my entrepreneurship journey, some of the challenges that I went through is actually personal. I had a personal loss, and I was trying to struggle between, my professional life as well as my personal life. Also managing a family, running a business. it was a constant challenge for me. Like every working female, I think females are able to relate to this more in terms of household chores, you know, running a business. That was a really big challenge for me. Closest friends and family. So when I wanted to venture out into the entrepreneurship journey, some of the questions that people ask was, are you ready? You have never been in tourism. You have never been in hospitality. How are you going to do this? So I've had days that I've cried. I've had really, really bad days to try and, have the courage to start the business. So that's one challenge. And also later stages of construction, we ran out of money. And also the banks, because I was a new entrepreneur, I was, in their terms, I was not kind of up to that standard to go for a loan. So then I had to piggyback on my husband to apply for the loan. And that's where I was able to finish my project. And also there were many instances that, because when you venture out, your cash flows can be very low. So I've had issues with cash flows. And then so many people were, migrating. I've been in the corporate sector and everyone's asking, what are you doing at home? Get back to the corporate sector. So, it's constant doubt, constant guilt. What do I do? Am I doing the right thing? So these are the challenges that I've had. And also, we all know these attacks hit the industry, COVID hit the industry. And this is why I actually diversified into 2 other areas where I will be able to keep my, head strong. Now this 2022, we are hit again with a financial crisis. So these are, I will not talk about any of the negative stuff, but these are real big challenges where especially the labor force in the tourism industry have lost faith in industry, because back to back there are issues. There's a lot of issues in terms of skilled labor shortages, to get youth attracted to the industry, to get women attracted to the industry. So these are some of the biggest challenges that I have faced as well as currently facing. So if this is a model that, being an employee, being self-employed, you transform yourself into an investor and a business owner. So it's more like an entrepreneurial orientation. How did I do it? So what I first did was try and innovate something, try and do something that nobody else was doing. What did I have? What were the talents I have? What are the resources I had? Who were the people I had with me? And putting an innovative concept together, carving out that niche market for my brand. So that's something that I have done. And then risk taking. Now I have heard some people say, go ahead and take the risk. Don't worry. Things will, no, it won't happen. You have to take calculated risks. It can be your finances, it can be your staffing, it can be your asset management, anything. Risk taking should be done in a calculated. I want to use the sustainable term as well. Your risk taking has to be sustainable, because you cannot put everything you have in the business and expect the business to give that return. No, there are unforeseen. For example, the financial crisis. So how do you take your risks in a calculated way? Then how proactive are you? Are you risk? When I mean being proactiveness is you foresee something. You foresee something and you get ready for that. You have your systems in place. You have your standard operating procedures in place, so that you are proactive. So this is how I have transferred myself from being an employee to a business owner. Now let me talk about building a business. If you look at this pyramid, the pyramid is uniquely kind of safe with the team as well as leadership and the mission of the company. And I have given the most weightage to the cash flow, because at the end, that's the most important thing for you to pay your utilities, to pay your staff, to sustain yourself as well. And then communication, systems, legal, and product. I'm not saying the product is not significant, it is, but there are many other factors that are important as well. Now, let me take you through each and every aspect of it. Product and services. Your product has to be unique. I've already mentioned, so that you always have an advantage over your competitors. Second thing, your legal documents. This is something that entrepreneurs don't take seriously. Your business registration, your contractual agreement with your partners, your domain registrations, your slogans, even your logo for that matter, intellectual property rights, and also your EPF, ETF, and your taxation. So those things you have to have in a very black and white manner, because when you're insignificant, when nobody knows you, everything is fine, everything is hunky-dory. But when you bring the money in, when you go and make a name for yourself, when your business is doing good, when your personal brand is doing good, there are so many people wanting to take the piece of the pie. So that you have to be very mindful. Then the systems in place, the standard operating procedures. For example, my tourism business, when a customer puts the vehicle to the driveway, who's greeting the customer? Where is the parking? Where does the guest do the registration, the welcome drink, the check-in, then other meal timings. Then in terms of your suppliers, purchase order system, GDN, GRN. So all those systems are important when you build a business, a sustainable business. Then communication, your ability to strong sales and marketing activities. Don't ever forget, something that I've seen is, especially the SME sector, no sooner crisis hits, just cut down the marketing budget. And what happens is eventually you fail because nobody knows you. You just cut your marketing budget. So don't do that. You have to keep on consistently doing your marketing. And also cash flows. Like I mentioned before, it can be your business income, it can be your investors, it can be a bank loan. It's very important to have your cash flows going steadily, just to build your business and to build your brand. A strategic approach, the vision mission statement. This is our Handunnetti vision mission statement: to be the most preferred small luxury accommodation brand in Southern Coast, offering luxury and unique products and services. Strive to be the most hospitable company, delighting and offering meaningful, memorable experiences to all external and internal customers, while offering high returns to the owners and creating a positive impact on the lives of all stakeholders. Values: respect, excellence, proactive, integrity, teamwork, and accountability. So we've carved a competitive advantage, that is a unique location. We are in Talalla. It's a 9-acre beautiful coconut estate. You can see the background, and it's a commercial properties, and also the colonial building. It's over 120 years old Dutch architectural masterpiece. Loyal staff. Then we have sustainable tourism practices, which I'll take you through later on. Land to building ratio, and specialty beach restaurant. Also the brand, I've done a small segmentation, targeting, positioning, just to take you all through so that you'll understand how I build the brand. So this is with the marketing mix. I will not take you all through on this slide. Segmentation, we have looked at online travel agents, families, leisure travelers, beach lovers, nature lovers, honeymoon destinations, even just we've known as a dog-friendly property as well. Also, if you look at our target marketing, online travel agents, we target Booking.com, Agoda, and Expedia. Families with kids, leisure travelers, nature lovers, honeymoon destinations, responsible travelers and events, things like that. And our positioning is a unique property with sustainable tourism activities, yoga retreats, and we have a spa as well. And our tagline is relaxing getaway, family and kids friendly hotel, unique beach resort with, actually we have 2 restaurants offering authentic Sri Lankan food as well as Western food. destination for event planning blended with nature. If you talk about maintaining our brand, we do quite a bit of sustainable activities, encouraging responsible travelers, because I believe being a brand, we can't be everything to everybody. So we encourage people who like to relax with nature to come, because there's a lot of garden space. There's a lot of wildlife, monkeys, peacocks, giant squirrels in the property. Then sustainable production. We have a small farm in the property. So in terms of the consumption, we take harvest from there. We purchase locally, predominantly now we buy our fish from the harbor, vegetables from the local market. So we do a bit of local purchasing as well. Then we have this zero single-use plastic policy, where we don't use plastic bottles, no straws, no paper cups or plates. Tree plantation activities, actually we have stopped this now, but pre-COVID, we used to run this program where on a special occasion of a guest, it can be the birthday, anniversary or whatever, we give a plant for them to plant, and then they take a picture, and it was a very kind of memorable, enticing experience. Then my team compromises at least minimum 30% women, and I'm actually lucky to say that, probably because I'm a women owner, I'm able to attract and give a safe working environment for females. Then employment opportunities as well given to the community. And then we have, we care for the society. So we have various programs that we run with the schools, rural hospitals, home for the elders, and help poor village family. So we help with donations, books, stationery, depends on time to time, but predominantly these happen during the season, starting October. And we use Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, YouTube, LinkedIn to tell our stories, cookery demonstrations, coconut harvesting tours, gardening, tree plantation, yoga, meditation, all that. So we use these mediums to tell our stories, to entice customers to come and stay with us, to experience Sri Lanka, because we always give the message out that sustainable tourism is the way forward. Simply because we have so much of resources, that does not mean that we should waste. If you look at awards and recognition for the business, back to back, we won TripAdvisor Traveler's Choice Awards. Also, like I mentioned before, grant recipient for tourism resilience. Also, our property was featured in Warner Brothers, F-Boy Island, US and Sweden reality shows, and those should be out next year. And thank you. That's my presentation. And if anyone wants to get in touch with me, my email address is nayomi@thesiren.lk, and I'm on LinkedIn as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Naomi. Very, very interesting. I actually found it very fascinating. I like how you had started your career, and how you had to find the money to pay for the loans. Very interesting. So Naomi, how is the industry doing right now as we speak?
Actually, Dr. Rohan, the industry, as we already kind of aware, we have, we don't have business. And unfortunately, with the fuel crisis, gas crisis, over the weekend we had guests, and we had to use firewood to cook. We didn't have gas. And so it's, at the moment, it's pretty dicey situation. But the only thing is, Dr. Rohan, we've been through this with these attacks, COVID. Now it's like, we have kind of accustomed to this situation. But this is not the way forward, because unfortunately, like I mentioned before, we're losing a lot of skilled people. There aren't any good people to work anymore in the country. So we'll have to do something about it.
So, what is your advice to a youngster, Naomi?
In terms of entrepreneurship?
In terms of a MBA student, because they also like to follow your path, maybe not in tourism, but maybe some other discipline that they would like to, tread on you. So, I mean, what's your advice to a youngster?
Dr. Rohant, actually, entrepreneurship is very overwhelming. You have time in terms of managing your time is up to you, but it's a daunting task. It's a daunting task to be an entrepreneur, simply because the business is yours, your idea, your brainchild. You are in it. You can't get out of it. So if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you need to dive in. And also these studies, because sometimes people ask me, you're an entrepreneur, why are you studying so much? But sometimes what happens is, when you become an entrepreneur, you forget to sharpen your skills. That's what I have done. I've been studying. Now I'm studying for my doctorate at AIT. I'm sharpening my skills to make sure that I'm always at the cutting edge, always trying new concepts, trying new things. Because being in Sri Lanka, we don't get exposed at all to new technologies, to new thinking, what's happening in the world. But education is something that always paves way. So two things: don't stop studying. Second thing is, entrepreneurship is a lifelong thing, 24/7, 365 days. So if you're ready, by all means.
So what made you want to give up a corporate career and move to doing your own business, Naomi?
It's like this, Dr. Rohanta, because my last stint in the corporate sector was, I was head of advertising, Sri Lankan Airlines. It was, I would say, it's mixed feelings. I always wanted to be my own boss. That's different. But saying that managing a family, managing a very high level, high stress corporate job was difficult, because my husband is also in the corporate sector. Probably that's one of the reasons, as well as I see a lot of opportunity to do something new, to do something to kind of create jobs for people, like kind of my purpose in life as well, to try and do something new, so that there is you just create even a small salary, you contribute to the society. So that is something that I figured out through my entrepreneurship journey, and I think I'll continue to be an entrepreneur.
This other two companies you started, Naomi, how does it work?
The Siren, Dr. Rohanta, is a marketing process outsource company. So this is predominantly, we used to focus on the SME sector, but with the crisis, there aren't any budgets. So now we've moved into a corporate sector where we handle their PR, handle their social media, we handle their strategy. So that's the Siren. Then elixirceylon.com is an e-commerce website. Plus we have tied up with various retailers, online as well as shops, to sell our coconut-based products. That's coconut water, coconut chips, coconut trickle, coconut jam. Then we have our personal care range, handmade luxury soap, bath bombs, body lotion. Yeah. So those are the two other businesses, Dr. Rohanta.
So what are the markets that you all look at the export business, Naomi?
Actually, at the moment, we aren't exporting, Dr. Rohanta. But that's what I said. We are looking at export. We started this business last year. Business registration was done last year, March, but we physically started operation last year, October. So it's not even 1 year.
Right. So you all do the production here itself, or is it that it's outsourced?
It's outsourced production.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, you're a real entrepreneurial woman. I mean, I love your the tourism work you do, and now you're looking at exports, and I mean, Great. So what made you want to do a doctorate, Naomi?
Doctor, I think it's because I have 2 masters already. And also I was thinking in tourism, there are many kind of problems that we don't have a solution. So my topic, my thesis is going to be based on women in tourism. The low participation in tourism, because if you look at statistics, it's less than 10% women representing the industry. Whereas if you look at other parts of the world, it's over 50%. So what are the problems? So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do a doctorate, to try and, get to find answers and probably maybe convince the stakeholders in the industry to try and, change certain things. Because if you look at the apparel industry 25 years ago, I mean, they had this same problem of, trying to attract women, or rather certain taboos in the industry. But now they've launched so many programs, and now it's a beautiful place to work. So why can't we make the tourism industry savvy, to come and work? Because there are so many taboos around the industry. So how can we introduce policies and frameworks to try and make it a better industry?
Fantastic. Now, have you already decided what your argument is going to be when you're doing your dissertation, or are you yet trying to find that out? Have you? Is there anything like you want to really see?
Not at the moment, doctor, because now it's like just about we started last October. So
Right.
I just have this concept in my mind, and probably we'll get our supervisors allocated very soon. So I'm trying to try and get a grant as well, doctor, if it's possible, because of the topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you're called today by the new Prime Minister and asked, what is the advice you can give him?
For the tourism industry?
Yeah, he says that you're an entrepreneur, you're into exports and tourism. I want to know from you, Nayomi Handunnetti, what is your advice to the Prime Minister?
I would say, doctor, is like, now being in the SME sector, there's absolutely no support. What can we do to support the SME sector? Maybe, taboo areas like even a basic excise license, right? What can we do? Getting a business registration to a bank account, to all that, can we digitize all these things? So these are some of the tips that I would, tell him, like even doctor, now to get a bank loan, sorry, not a bank loan, not a bank loan, to get a bank account open in this country, it's difficult. Yeah. So many protocols, so many hard copies, you need so many documents. But why not we digitize everything? So that's something that I would tell the Prime Minister to look at in a very serious way. Plus also to develop the industry, doctor. If you go to Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, it's booming. But what are we doing in terms of very orthodox thinking? There aren't any excise license. There's so many protocol to even the excise license application alone is 20,000 rupees, doctor. So there are a lot of things that we can do to encourage people to get into tourism.
So, do you yet believe in Sri Lanka, Nayomi?
Yes, doctor.
You do, and why?
Because not that I think, I know for a fact we have a lot of resources, and there are people like you and I in the country who has the brains, who can do something great. Because when everybody's looking at migration, we are here, we are working harder than we ever did to try and, do something right for the country.
So, Naomi, I mean, tell me, how do you see the next 3 weeks? I mean, you know that there is no petrol, there is no diesel, there is so much of things happening across the country. I mean, what are you going to do in the next 3 weeks?
We keep on marketing ourselves, doctor, and we can see the at least a bit of local bookings coming in, one or two, for us to survive, at least to get by, pay the salaries, to pay the utility bills. So because even though there is no gas, Dr. Rohanta, I will have electricity bill coming at the end of the month. So how do I pay? So I'm actually not planning 10 years ahead, but at least surviving until the season comes, because July, August we see some conversion, we have some bookings for summer. So how do we get by until then? And it's sad, there's no gas, no diesel. So but I don't want to talk about anything negative.
I really like your spirit, Naomi. I mean, I've heard about you, but I mean, very seldom that we speak, but I like your very positive look, the manner in which you look at things, and the way that you are moved forward. It's really encouraging. I wish there are more Sri Lankans like you. um, so. So I mean, how do you keep yourself fit, Naomi? I mean, I mean, you have to run business, you have to run family, you have to keep the financials going. I mean, how do you keep yourself fit?
I work out, doctor, and I do yoga as well, because this is something that I really needed, because that 1.5 hours that you make time for yourself, I don't use the phone. That I really need it, because you are so busy, you have 100 things to do in a day, but there's absolutely no mind time. So that time I kind of allocate for my fitness, and sometimes I do a walk in the evening. So those things are mandatory, doctor. That because I think I have this balanced approach to life, where I don't get carried away with one thing. So probably that's why I've become successful in whatever the way, if you look at my studies or my work or my family, so all that.
So you were in sales at IBM, and then you got into marketing, and then they ended up with handling the whole advertising at Sri Lanka. So now when you're looking back at Sri Lankan Airlines, what do you feel?
For the 2 years I was there, doctor, I did a lot of changes, because at that time I think there was a management change, and the management wanted a professional to come and change the systems. Because if you look at the kind of systems, they didn't have any systems at that time. Not that they didn't, but there was a management change. So I did quite a bit to, from bringing the costings down, getting 3 agencies to come and so we had to have this pitch system. So all that was introduced. Right now, I think there's this privatization thing up for discussion. I think that's the way forward, doctor.
So, Nami, how do we look at Sri Lanka? We know that there is going to be political stability coming in. We know that there is, I mean, do you think this is a good thing that has happened to this country, or do you think that this is unfortunate?
I think it's a good thing, doctor, because I don't think, I mean, look at Gotagama, right? Who would have ever thought, right, how people would, are so bold enough to do what they're doing? Because I think it's a learning for all of us not to take things for granted. I mean, we are bankrupt today. So now we are rock bottom. How low can we get from here? So I think it's an eye opener for everybody.
You're right. You're right, Nami. I mean, this morning I was on date with Danu, that program he ran. And when he asked this question, I said, this is the best thing that could have happened to this country. Because see, we have to recap. I mean, the way we run our companies is that we make sure that our cost is has to be lesser than our income. And we have been running this country continuously where our expenditure is more than our income. And I was actually very amazed and very sad also to hear that the finance ministry every year, year on year, gives a forecast to the government, knowing that that whole forecast is incorrect with regard to revenue. So, which means that you are running at a negative trade balance. So, I mean, this is the kind of responsibility that the public sector was working on. So, I think, like you very rightly said, this is a fantastic eye opener for us to adjust ourselves, see where we can reduce our cost, and then see what are the ways in which we can increase our revenue so that at least we start running this country just like how we run a company, because we cannot go on. And secondly, Naomi, I mean, I have held public sector on tourism and exports, and I handled the 32 billion Lanka Satosa business. We turned it around within 7 months. And my experience is that, there's so much you can do in this public sector if you are prepared to work honest. But if you're going to rob, then you can't make anything successful. Now, all these 3 jobs that I did, I refused to sign a bill. I refused to give a tender to some fellow. And I said, here's my resignation. I'm going. I've come to serve. I will serve you again. I mean, but on this particular one, I'm not going to sign this bill. So we move out. So, I mean, that kind of thinking needs to be brought into this country. And you very rightly, you said that the more you can, use this opportunity to turn around, that's going to be the best that we could give to the country. I know it's going to be tough for the next 2 to 3 weeks, especially the next 3 weeks is going to be very tough because inflation is hitting above 50 on non-food sector, which means that, your actual inflation must be about 80-85%. And secondly, of course, is that it's so sad. I mean, when we go for certain global meetings, people look at us and, look down on us because, I mean, we are talking about running companies when we can't even run our country properly. You know what I'm saying? And they laugh at us. They laugh. I mean, they sneer at us and they belittle us. And we are going through all this. Why? Because of some poor governance and poor skill set of some set of public sector officials who could have seen this happening, but I think you're right. So, Dami, what are you going to do in the future? You want to continue with your current business? You want to look at new opportunities? How do you look at yourself in the next 1 to 3 years?
I'm going to be in the current business, doctor, because there's so much of potential here. If you look at now December till April, until this sudden crisis, I mean, we were doing fantastic. There was tourism. We were making money. We were creating jobs for people. We were paying our bills. So I'm going to be around, doctor, try and expand my business. Actually, we were looking at expansions this year, but unfortunately, I can't even think of expanding with the current construction costs. So going to be around, but saying that we look at some sort of export is something that I'm seriously considering, doctor, as well as, I mean, agriculture. So already growing, there's paddy, there's coconut. So I'll be around. So, and doctor, just one more thing. I just wanted to add this to the previous question that you asked. This dependent mentality from the government, this public sector, that also has to stop, because you go to school free of charge, health is free of charge, university free of charge, then you get back to that free of charge system where you're dependent on a government job. Because I have some of my employees, graduates, they apply for a government job, no sooner they get it, they just leave, and then they call me back and say, Naomi, after 3 o'clock we are yawning, work. So just for a political agenda, creating jobs, and it's a crime.
Oh, what do you think of Gotagama? Have you been there?
Yes, I have.
So what is your view of that?
It's brilliant, doctor. Like I said before, it's, whoever thought, right? That beautiful golf face would be a Gama, a nice village where people go and camp, and, and most importantly, doctor, what we shouldn't forget is the human, the support, the food, the resources that these people are getting. So it's just remarkable.
So you don't think, Naomi, of expanding to another country? This concept that you have come out with.
If there is an opportunity, doctor, for sure. But at the moment, I'm here in Sri Lanka, so I will definitely look at moving out.
Right. Thank you, Naomi. Lovely chatting with you, and very succinct, very entrepreneurial, and I can see how you are going to really turn around. I can feel it, and I really like your whole positivism. It was lovely having you. Very few guests you have, people like you, who are very frank, and what you have to say, you say it to the face. It's really lovely chatting with you. And Kaushali, over to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Thanks a lot. As we always tell all our students, you have the opportunity of meeting leaders, meeting different personalities who are coming up with a lot of practical knowledge. So we are ending another session, and thank you very much for being with us. And we'll meet back again in another 1 week's time. Until then, take care and good night.
See you, Naomi. Thanks, Kaushali.